In 2024, we call her the GOAT, but in 2020, some called her a quitter, all because she took a pause. I am referring to the legendary Simone Biles. In recent sports news, Biles has won gold medals in the women's artistic individual team all-around, women's artistic team all-around, and the women's vault. Simone Biles has also won a silver medal in the women's floor artistic gymnastics. But at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, both during her one-touch vault warm-up and her official vault, Biles experienced the twisties. The announcer even made a note after Biles' official vault that
it looked like she got almost lost in the air.
But to give some perspective, I looked up, what are the twisties? The twisties are a gymnastic phenomenon where an athlete suddenly loses their sense of where their body is in space. A sudden loss like this could result in a loss in a competition or even paralysis in severe cases. But how does this relate to the pause? Well, first, Biles had to make the hardest decision that any leader has to make, stepping away from your team when they need you most.
It was really hard on them because mentally they lost their best player, the veteran. I think it was really hard on them. So that's something that I'll never forgive myself for that whole entire experience, because I wish I could have been in there with them in a way that I was supposed to, physically, putting up team scores, putting them. But after that, I became their loudest and best cheerleader. But I just wish it would have been contributing the way that it was supposed to happen.
According to Forbes, a pause does three things. 1, it builds resilience. 2, it replenishes the brain stores of attention and motivation while encouraging productivity and creativity. 3, it also allows our brain to process recent events, which in turn helps us develop a sense of self. Personally, I resonate with the second and third point. When I take a pause and don't focus on work, it's like freeing up storage on my phone. I know some of you guys can relate. And with this, my brain has more room to create new ideas. Additionally, with that extra storage, I can reflect on the events that have occurred to understand why I needed to take a pause in the first place, which is exactly what Simone Biles did.
Immediately when you get off the mat, what do you do?
I go to tell my coach, and I said, I'm done, I'm not doing anymore. Because if I survive that, I don't know how much else I can survive. We went to the back just to get evaluated, mentally and physically. Because I know what happened, but I also don't know what happened and why it happened. And then my therapist is like, well, we know why it happened.
Simone tells Alex her Olympic twisties were brought on by emotional trauma. She was one of hundreds of women who came forward in 2018 as sexual abuse victims of ex-USA gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar.
Compressing all of this for so many years, it just unfolded.
Right.
You can't compress trauma.
In an article from the Harvard Business Review called "Don't Underestimate the Power of Self-Reflection," self-reflection is defined as an action that's thoughtful and deliberate, but more importantly, an action that takes courage. Because it takes courage to look back and honestly identify the what, the how, and the why behind certain incidents. Additionally, Gartner's Corporate Executive Board found that leaders in the top quartile of self-reflection were 10% more effective in leadership roles than those in the bottom quartile. Think about it. As a leader, you have to always look at performance, strategy, things of that sort. So if you're someone who is willing to self-reflect and be self-aware, that would put you above other leaders in your industry. And with that, we also found those who are self-aware see a 27% increase in their employees' performance. But don't take my word for it. We can see how impactful a pause can be just by watching Simone Biles break 13 records during this 2024 Olympic run. And we see that she is now recognized as the GOAT because of her skill, her athleticism, and more importantly, her ability to pause when she needed to. Guys, ultimately, as a leader, it is important to remember that you are at the end of the day, the most important person you have to serve. And stepping away is not the end. If anything, it is just the beginning of greater success. So, I just want to thank you guys for tuning in to Unfolded Sports. If you find value in any of this information, or even if you learned something new, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I cannot wait to see you the next time. All right, stay unfolded. Peace.